Hi, welcome. My name is Richard Majewski. As a consultancy, marketing consultancy for the service department sector, for service department operators and agents. I also run the largest networking event in the sector. I've been doing that for 10 years. SABA Networking. It's online currently at SABA Wine Time. And I also run serviceaccommodation.net, which is a forum. It's a website which presents operator information to service department booking agents. There are about 100 service department booking agents in the country. You may have heard of one or two of them. This website is marketed to those booking agents. It's really the fastest and cheapest way that you can get on the radar of service department booking agents for the corporate and the contractor markets. Right, I'm going to be rattling through the poll results, quite fast. I'm under a little bit of time pressure, so please bear with me. It was a poll on recommended standards of business best practice. In order that operators and agents, it was by popular demand. Operators and agents wanted a poll to be run so that they could establish what was the most common fair and reasonable judgment of what was fair and reasonable in terms of relationships between primarily the operators and the booking agents. So I'll do questions and then I'll do the top result. At what stage should an agent advise an operator regarding the identity of their corporate or contractor client? At what stage should an agent advise an operator regarding the identity of the client? Consensus 85% voted upon booking all details for practical reasons, including safety of all guests in-house. So I won't recap on them actually, I need to get through all of them. Next question. If the guest extends their stay, should commission be automatically offered to the agent? So the client, they've booked into your property, the client extends the stay. What do? Do you tell the booking agent? Yes, you do. An extension is part of the original booking and is ethically correct. 74% voted that if a corporate client or a contractor client were to extend their stay, that you should advise the booking agent that they've done so and pay them commission. Next question. If a previous agency client books again but comes direct, so this isn't an extension but they're actually left and they want to come back and they've contacted you direct, what do? 48% said immediately contact the original agent because you should value the relationship with that agent. It's too important for one booking to sacrifice the relationship of the booking agent. 48% said if they come direct subsequently, let the agent know. The next question, if you've said to the above that you would pay commission if an agent contacted you to claim, how long after the departure of the guest would you do so? So they've come direct, they've stayed, they've left. The agent then subsequently contacts you to ask for commission. Where do you draw the line? How long after the departure of the guest? 44.4% said up to 1 month after the departure of that originally agency client, but not on this occasion. They'd come direct, but if the agent contacts you up to a month after the departure of that guest and says, they're our client, we book them all the time and they just book direct on this occasion, up to a month afterwards you'd pay them commission. Next question. If an inquiry were received via one or more agents and you started to book the booking process but subsequently the client came direct as well, what do? 70%, that's 70% said that you would continue booking processing the booking of the agency. So you'd say to the client that had come direct, look, the inquiry's come through an agent, you've obviously contacted half the agents in the country, and we're dealing with the first agent that contacted us, so they will let you know. You don't take it direct. And these are guidelines. You don't have to stick to them, but they're the figures of what most people voted as fair and reasonable business practice. And it might be very different to what you're used to, especially with the OTAs, because it works very differently. The relationship is key with the booking agents. Next question. The rates you quote what are they? Is there rate parity? Do you quote all people direct, whether it's direct or agency, so they all get the same rates, or do you quote lower rates for direct bookings? 40%, which is by far the largest, by the way. Others were 10%, 14%, 7%. So 40% is less than half, but it's by far the largest section. Structured their rates so that the guest will pay the same rate regardless. So basically rate parity. That's another question on rate parity, but we won't go into that right now. Next question. You've quoted on an inquiry, now what do? Do you just sit back and grumble because they don't contact you? Do you phone them? What do you do? 33% said that they would expect to hear from the agency anyway, which presumably is out of experience they say that. 48% though said they would chase the agent. In other words, my advice based on this poll and the response of 48% of this poll is, don't sit back and grumble and say that they don't contact you ever again. Chase them, contact them, ask them how you can improve on the performance for next time. Agents, next question. Agents and operators, everyone needs to run profitable business and what have you. This question, I'll paraphrase it, was to do with what operators feel is reasonable, fair and reasonable commission. 48% said that 10% was fair and reasonable. 48% were going for 10%, although 22%, still a reasonable number, said that 15% was acceptable. And in fact 18.5% preferred net rates. In other words, that's the rate, add on what you want, just give me the original rate. And that was it. Right, I'll rush off. I hope that I have not confused you with all of those. Let me know if you want me to email you any of the results. Happy to do so, the full results. And otherwise, take care, stay safe, and wear a mask. Bye now.